Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pash On Podcast. Let's get started with your host, Brian Pash.
Hi, this is Brian Pash, and welcome to another exciting podcast interview. I'm so pleased to welcome for the first time Connie Gundrum. She's the Chief Marketing Officer at CF Search Marketing, and I just found out that Connie's also a resident of Boca Raton, right down the street. It's a small world. Connie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Great. Well, Connie, we have a lot to talk about because CF Search Marketing is a boutique agency, full service, which I think is harder and harder to find in today's world of OEM turnkey programs. When dealers have many choices to pick from, what's one characteristics about the culture at CF Search Marketing that you bring out to differentiate your delivery and execution, say, compared to your other peers?
Definitely say it's a consultative approach. You know, we look at the dealer's entire marketing plan, even if we're not managing it. So, their entire budget. And we consult on the plan because at the end of the day, we want them to hit their goals.
And I think this is something to just take a few minutes on, because oftentimes an agency can be hired to do one thing and they just put their head down and they do that one thing, but they don't even know that maybe someone else is doing the same thing. How many times have you and I discovered double tactics being executed by two different companies? Not too uncommon, wouldn't you say, Connie?
It's very common, especially with the turnkeys. The turnkey, because they might just sign up for something. Oh, this is co-opable. Okay, I'll sign up, but they're already getting it.
Yeah. So when we talk about today's technology-focused ecosystem, there are companies, I have my own agency as well, that have better tech, but they don't have better people or customer support. How do you try to help dealers navigate between, do you chase the tech or do you chase the account management first? Where's the middle ground?
Yeah, I think both are important, but everything fails without good account management. So you can still, use certain tech. Maybe you're using a specific, company's tech, but you have an agency that you trust, that you really feel is a true partner to help you manage that tech even.
Well, I'm absolutely convinced that as more and more dealers move to first-party data management, the platforms that dealers choose will be in one, let's just say one category. It's going to be the bold agencies like CF Search Marketing that will learn these tools, step up, and help dealers leverage their first-party data in new ways. And, one of the ways that I have recognized your leadership in doing the right thing for dealers is that CF Search Marketing was one of the first agencies that signed up to support the Automotive Standards Council as a founding member. Why was that important? Because, tell you the truth, not a lot of agencies know how to set up GA4, nor have they joined the council to find best practice.
We believe in transparency for the dealer and level setting the providers, the agencies out there. There's so many times that you might compete against another agency, or you go in and talk to a dealer and they have conversions that might not be true conversions. So we really want better data for more informed marketing decisions, so we can get better results for the dealers.
Connie, you bring up something which I chuckle about. And of course, anybody who's listening to this podcast who's in marketing knows. I mean, if dealers aren't looking at their Google Analytics data or their marketing reports correctly, or intently, let's put it that way, an agency can come in and turn any event into a conversion to inflate their conversion shown on reports. It's a sad state of affairs. It's still going on. How much of that is commonplace when you take on a new dealer account where you're seeing conversions turned on for the things that we know are just commonplace, just to puff up reports?
Sadly, I thought it wasn't a thing anymore. But even last month, I got, access and some reporting a dealer sent me from their agency, and they were including maps and directions as a conversion.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that we had been cleaning it up over many years, but it's still out there.
Yeah. And, we're still working hard as a council to get all the call tracking companies up and running to bring in call conversions because, click to call, even though it's a common conversion event, is a false friend. 30% of those click to calls never connect, and we don't know what department the call was for. That's why I'm really excited for 2024. It's taken a little longer than I wanted, but finally to get call outcomes into GA4. Do you agree with me, Connie, that since the phone is the most popular conversion channel for paid media, online media, that we need to get those call outcomes in GA4?
I do. Again, better, let's get the best result for the dealer. So even if we have to pivot as an agency, even if we look and say, well, this wasn't the best result that we thought it wasn't as good as we thought we were getting. Okay, well, what else can we do that's different from that'll get a better outcome? So absolutely.
Connie, you bring up a good point, is being self-aware that your agency makes decisions based on the data that's provided. And I think you alluded to it in your answer, but I think that once call outcomes are placed into GA4 and those ad campaigns that were getting 100 or 200 phone call conversions, when we start seeing it by department, I think there's going to be some aha moments. Oh, wow, those keywords seem to be bringing a lot more service calls than we thought. Let's split them out. And I think the end result is we're going to have better marketing performance. That's how I see it. How do you see it?
I do. We know that a lot of those are coming in for service and parts. And, I don't think the dealers realize that. And that's still a profit center that is hugely important. So dialing that in is going to be great for the dealer.
Connie, there's some new products and services that I wanted to cover because obviously you've been in this industry a while. You're seeing the trends, identifying anonymous shoppers or returning shoppers or existing customers that come back to a dealer's website is important. Can you tell us a little bit about the Shopper ID product that you offer your customers?
Yeah, so Shopper ID is placed on your website. We know that people are coming to the website and they're not converting. There's only 2% of the traffic that's converting, and then we're not identifying the traffic. So dealers spending thousands and thousands of dollars sending people to the website, and what Shopper ID does is we are identifying those customers and we are re-engaging with them through email marketing, and we can do social media as well, or even mail. But we've seen great results just by turning the email marketing on. So the dealers are not only building their database. So let's say if 10,000 people, come to the website in a month and you only have 2% conversion, you're really only building your database by 2%. But we are seeing, up to 50% and even higher engagement rates where we're actually getting the name, address, phone number, real phone number, mobile phone number, and we're building the dealership's database over time, which now can be used in our marketing.
Connie, you bring up such an important point. I've tried to communicate it to dealers why identity resolution is so important, but you hit it. I'm gonna restate it only because it's really sad that dealers are missing first-party data management. When someone comes to your website, there are many different tech platforms and tools like Shopper ID that can look at that customer who's anonymous and reverse stitch previous shopping behavior, previous ID, companies like LiveRamp who've been around a while. And there's so many of them now, but the automotive agencies and tech partners that have now brought this into automotive, you said it perfectly. If a dealer's getting 20,000 people to their website a month, they're getting anywhere from 1% or 2% max of lead forms, maybe another 5%, 6% in phone calls. So when you think about it, they're getting a couple hundred opportunities. But if you can get 5,000, 7,000, 10,000 of customer emails and addresses out of those 20,000 shoppers, now we have a completely different ball game. These people came to your website for a reason. Now breaking out those shoppers by service and sales, or new and used cars and service. This is the art form that we're just beginning to learn how to master this data. And Connie, I have to believe with you that, hey, being able to send out an offer to an anonymous shopper, to a consumer based on what they were shopping is a nice soft touch of follow-up that seems to be working for many, many dealers, but also for your customers as well.
Yeah, it's definitely working well. I mean, we put out a case study recently where we had a dealer have a 12x ROI. They're good leads. The people that are coming back, it's the lowest bounce rate. It's usually the second, only after organic, in pages per session and session duration. So the people that we are engaging with, when they do come back, it's quality traffic. And they're good leads because they have real phone numbers, which means they have a high appointment set rate also.
Well, that's music to dealers' ears, right? If you think about it, they're already getting these shoppers to their website. Why not decode more of them, have a personalized outreach? You don't know if the shopper's journey was interrupted with family stuff, and now a follow-up email is there, especially if it's relevant. When we talk about a boutique agency, maybe that's bantered around a lot, but in many OEM programs, the account management is strained, meaning because of how the OEM digital marketing programs are structured, a lot of accounts are placed on account managers. There's high turnover rates in those jobs. It is a grind. How does CF Search Marketing maintain your account managers? Is it being more realistic on the number of accounts that they can handle? Is it something else? What's the secret sauce that has allowed your team to grow in years of experience and deliver outstanding results?
First of all, it's investing in people. So, hiring people that have an automotive marketing background, not a ton of, entry level, right out of college employees. So we have experts that are dealing with our clients, and then also throttling the amount of counts that they will get. And then always having one more person than you need. A lot of agencies, want to hire when they get the account, or, after they get the account. It's important to have, more AEs than you actually need, so you can scale when that business does come in.
Yeah, you need to have a bench, because anytime you're at capacity and people are burning out, when new accounts come in, instead of being celebratory, they're like, oh, no, more work. We talked a little bit about paid search and your full service agency. Let's pivot a little bit. There are not many agencies that are doing great work in content development and SEO. Tell me a little bit about your philosophy on how SEO is helping dealers stay competitive.
So, I mean, we do SEO audits. for our new business. And, their dealers some of them are doing a good job. And then some, are in the middle of the pack and some are in the bottom of the pack, because I've seen over time dealers not wanting to invest in SEO just because they don't really understand it. So, we have a robust SEO team, and it's actually it's one of our passions is SEO, because we know, that, it can impact a dealer's business. It should be, one of the top sources. And especially with things changing like SGE, Google's, possibly radical change with search generative experience, we are already trying to stay ahead of the curve. And we're in the final testing phases of software that can run audits against the SGE results, to see if we're going to gain or lose, because there could be a massive algorithm change coming.
Well, I agree with you that SEO should be in every dealer's budget. It should be a high priority, because the highest quality traffic, the most engaged traffic, comes through organic search, period. It always has been. But of course, paid search and using Google, Meta, TikTok, or streaming all are ways to create better awareness. But right now, Connie, dealers are struggling with turn rates, inventory management. They're really looking to their marketing professionals to provide solutions to increase turn rate. How does your agency help a dealer look at their inventory, look at their inventory mix, look at the engagement on the vehicles in stock to help them come up with a better plan to increase turn rates?
So we built a tool called Inventory Insights that it scrapes websites. So you can plug in your website versus your competitor's website, and you can see new, used, CPO, versus your competitors. So we know, we can look at that dashboard and we can tell what the dealers have, what our competitors have, and where we need to help them, so we can throttle either up or back their ad campaigns.
And do you see, Connie, this tool also helpful to advise dealer on pricing strategies? Normally, marketing professionals don't work with used car managers or new car manager on pricing strategy, but are they using this inventory insights framework to help them be more competitively priced, or is it more used as a stocking strategy? How are you seeing it being used in the field?
It's used really more as a stocking strategy, so we can look at our competitors' inventory, live and historical over time.
When you think about competition, and there are many people offering digital marketing services, for a dealer that is maybe not feeling they're getting the right account management or the most transparent reports, or at a very basic level, don't think that their marketing dollars are generating the most leads or opportunities, is there a general low-hanging fruit, something they're not considering that CF recommends? I mean, we all have our different approaches, but almost every single time I walk in, to a dealership, one of their core problems is SEO, and their Google My Business listings are half jacked up. Are there other things that you see that maybe other agencies aren't paying attention to that dealers should be thinking about?
Yeah, I mean, look at the website. Maybe it's generic. Maybe their CTAs aren't working. Maybe they don't have the right CTAs. So it starts with the website. If we're sending the traffic to the website, the website has to be there to convert when they get there. So, shop your own site. Go through the process, on the mobile and on a desktop, and, try to submit a service appointment, and, what experience are you getting?
Well, it's so funny about mystery shopping. I can't tell you how many times when I've mystery shopped and recorded or just brought up a VDP in front of a general manager. I can't tell you it happens so frequently, but maybe 1 out of 3 times the general manager says, well, how did that button get on that website? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm looking at it for the first time. I'm just thinking it's probably not right. And they're like, you're right, Brian. I think it's so important, Connie, that dealers follow your advice is with a fresh set of eyes. Maybe it's early in the morning before the phone starts ringing, or maybe it's late at night when you have maybe a little time to yourself. But you got to put your shopper eyes on. You have to step into the consumer's shoes, or just honestly ask your high school kid to shop for a car and watch what they do. It's pretty amazing when you have a fresh set of eyes on a website, how many, ways to make things better come very, very clear.
They do. And even, the inventory, what does the inventory look like? Do you have, the right photos? What's your pricing strategy? Comparing that to, the competitors, like we talked about, even with inventory insights, what is all those things come into play. And, the website has to be top notch in order for everything else to work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, one of the things that I know about CF Search Marketing and your sister company, Carrera, is that you've been in the automotive marketing business for a long time. And if you step back and look at the company's history and culture, aside from its focus on being a customer first strategy, what's another reason you feel that CF Search Marketing has been selected in OEM programs from some of the largest dealer groups in the country? What's something else that you want dealers to know that your clients have said it's been important for them and that's why they stuck with you?
I think it's a combination of being conversion focused. We want to make sure the dealers are getting leads, but also, being creative focused. So, so much of the creative kind of gets lost now with all of the automation where almost, every dealer's ad could essentially look the same to a shopper if they were going to multiple websites. So, a dealer still has to have a brand. They still have to have a why buy. They still have to stand out. We're not tier 1, we're tier 3. So, the creativity mixed with a results approach is what we stand for.
Well, that is super refreshing because, to tell you the truth, so many companies in the last year or two have really backed away from conversion focus. They're like, we're just influence. We just influence. And at the end of the day, dealers like, yeah, I get influence, but I still need more opportunities in my CRM. I need more opportunities to communicate. That's why I love the Shopper ID product, because really it takes a dealer from knowing 2% of the people who are coming to their website to 50%. And that's a game changer in any way you look at it, if you have good processes, good outreach, and, persistence to sell cars in a digital age. Connie, if a dealer is listening to today's podcast and says, hey, I want that boutique experience, I want more conversion, I want my agency to be someone who's focused on conversions, I love that shopper ID, I need more resolution of those anonymous shoppers, what's the best website to get a demo scheduled, or should they just reach out to you?
I would go to cfsearchmarketing.com. We also have a free digital audit there. So if you don't know if how you're doing, you can get that from us, or a demo, or you can call us at 866-301-3533.
Man, I love that you know that number off the top of your head. I can't tell you how many of my guests don't know the number. And I love the fact that you had that right off the top of your head. Well, Connie, I'm so glad you came on today's podcast because your company is supporting dealer education. You're one of the sponsors at the upcoming Modern Retailing Conference. That's November 12th, 13th, 14th in beautiful Palm Beach. And thankfully, Connie, you and I can just drive there, right? How often do we get to drive to an automotive conference?
I know. I love that you have it down here. It's easy. One less plane I have to get on this year. So
That's
I'm
correct.
looking forward to it.
Yes, and so do so many people. The weather in November is so beautiful. The hotel is beautiful. So I want to encourage dealers who are looking to elevate their customer experience, to increase the effectiveness of their marketing dollars, reimagine automotive retail, be good stewards of their first-party data. These are just some of the themes that we'll be covering at the Modern Retailing Conference. So you can go to modernretailingconference.com to book your tickets. And of course, if this is the first time you've listened to one of my podcasts, you should know that I have dozens and dozens of interviews with industry leaders, technology companies, and, well, dealer operators that are helping evolve modern retailing to sell more cars in a digital age. So thanks for listening. And Connie, one last thing. Dealers have choice. But what is one common theme that your customers tell you is the reason why they're happy with CF Search Marketing?
That we're passionate about their success and that they're selling cars. So it's all about, the result at the end of the month, and our dealers are hitting their objectives, and, they're happy with that.
Well, listen, that is music to the ears of the dealers who are missing those objectives or feeling frustrated that their marketing dollars aren't working. Connie, thanks again. And for everyone who listened in, thanks for your time. And I hope to see you again at one of our upcoming conferences and/or on a future podcast. So until then, have a great day, and thanks for listening in.